This is a year ahead reading. For those of you who haven't been catching it, I've been releasing these for this week because I know a lot of you are trying to make plans for next year. By the way, tomorrow I am putting out a free video here on YouTube about some quick astro tips on how to do it yourself, you know, with the astrology for next year for you, specific to your natal chart, so that you can get the most accurate information. Because I think a lot of people are trying to plan and prepare for the new year. Hopefully this reading here today is going to help, but I have to remind you, yes, it's general, and I am going to mention some astrology, which may apply, it may not, okay? To get more accurate astrology, apart from getting a private reading, which would be the most accurate, you know, and I do offer those, by the way, on my website, crownones.weebly.com. I do 12-month love and money forecasts, and I look at your unique natal chart. But if that's not in your budget, the next best thing is to make sure that you're watching your rising sign on these videos that I'm releasing, okay? Because some of you, you know, your Cancer sun, and what I'm about to tell you with the astrology is, it's not going to be as accurate, right? Like I'm an Aquarius sun, but actually the Taurus videos resonate more with me because I'm a Taurus rising. So please keep that in mind. If something seems a little bit off, you need to go watch your rising, all right? And better yet, you know, get a private reading from me or somebody else who can do your astrology. And if you can't afford that, then make sure you've hit the bell for notifications so that you are notified when I release the video tomorrow to show you some free, quick astro tips on how to do it yourself in planning for the new year to come. All right, that said, we've got 3 topics we're going to cover here, okay? Right now I'm shuffling for love, all right, because I know a lot of y'all are here about relationships. So I'm going to see what comes out for you on the love front. Then we're going to get into your career and money. And then finally, we're going to wrap up with a spread that's general and just see what comes out. And, you know, it just depending, you know, who knows? Love might come up again in that general spread. Money might come up again in the general spread. What I'm finding, though, is that usually what comes up is it's more about you, regardless of love and money, you know, what spirit has got to say to you. So let's get on with this love reading and see what's going on for Cancer in 2021. Please show me, Spirit, please show me messages for Cancer's love and relationships. That wanted to hop forward. Some of you trying to, you know, get away from something, move on from something, but you're having trouble getting on with it because you probably have unfinished business. Some of you, be careful about escapism. Because the 6 of Swords in reverse is like somebody who's trying to leave the restaurant without paying for the bill. And that's not going to end well, right? that's not, you can't do that. I mean, you can try to make a run for it, but might end up in jail that night, right? And so there's something that I think you are trying to get away from, or maybe somebody around you that's very significant is trying to get on with your life and move on, but you got to pay the bill first. You got to, yeah, see, there's somebody wanting a new beginning here with this Fool card. And it could be an Aries that's relevant. It might be an air sign, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. But with this Knight of Swords, this is an energy of somebody's got this attitude in getting their new beginning that the ends justify the means. So I'm getting this kind of escapism vibe. Like, you know, the Fool card is kind of this childlike energy. Like, I don't have to be responsible. I can bolt out of that restaurant. Catch me if you can, you know. And what is he moving towards? He's looking at this mindset of, I'm going to do what I got to do to get my new beginning. Okay. I'm getting on with this, and, you know, wow. Now look, all this stuff came out. My God. All right. So perhaps you're dealing with an earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, with that Queen of Pentacles. And then we've got the Knave of Pentacles. Again, more earth energy, 6 of Pentacles, and 10 of Pentacles in reverse. So not liking this, Cancer. I'm just going to be honest with you. A lot of earth and air energy, possibly Aries. But honestly, I think somebody's trying to get away from something, and they're being irresponsible about it. And their attitude is, I'm going to do what I have to do to make this happen. And I think this earth sign here is not cool with it. And this earth sign, either what she's putting out there is very small, maybe arguably breadcrumbing, or she's looking at somebody whose offer is very small and she's gone cold. She's given the cold shoulder, and the only way this person is going to thaw her out, because she's an ice queen, the only way he's going to thaw her out is by being generous to her financially and emotionally. But yet somebody's offer here is very small with that Knave of Pentacles. They might be coming in with some good money news, but honestly, the money news, and they might be generous and giving to somebody, but I'm getting like somebody's bored with it, and they're starting to look at, comparing. I'm getting comparisons like, well, I remember that was given to me by that person, and this is now being given to me by this person, and what are my prospects on, can I get something more from somebody else? I'm bored, I'm unimpressed with your offering. It's small, it's breadcrumbing. And with the Ten of Pentacles in reverse, this could be a situation where there's fighting within the family, generational fighting about resources, money. And that might be why somebody within a family dynamic is feeling like they're not being given their due financially. I mean, there's so many pentacles all over this. 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 5, 6, 7. Okay, and at the foundation, strength in reverse. So perhaps a Leo is relevant. So we've got 2 fire signs. Possibly we've got, all the earth signs showing up, and then all the air signs showing up. And at this foundation, what I'm seeing is that somebody has a lack of discipline, a lack of, maybe confidence issues. They have a weakness of will. And for that reason, that might be why they are trying to dip and dodge some responsibilities. And they just... And what they're offering is really childlike and immature, because they have not developed self-discipline, or their willpower. Their willpower seems towards themselves in their own way. Okay, with that Fool card, we do have a Queen here. So if you've got prominent Earth placements in your chart, perhaps this is you. Okay. The Queen seems to be, pretty stable and secure, but she's looking at somebody who's coming in offering her crumbs, and she doesn't like it. So I'm going to say this on the love front this year, Cancer. Somebody is offering you breadcrumbs. I don't think you're having it. I don't think you're attracted to it. I don't think you're going to have the willpower to continue on with them. And if this is what you've been dealing with and you're coming into the new year with this energy, you might just, dip on out of there and be like, hey, you figure out how to pay the bills, since, you can't seem to keep a job, or, whatever. You can't seem to pay your debt off to me, that, maybe they borrowed money from you. I don't know what the situation is, but you might feel like, back to that example I gave with paying your bill at the restaurant, you can't just dip out of there. Well, maybe you leave them at the table to pay the bill. I don't know, because you might feel like, well, it's your turn to pay and I'm not paying. So you know what I mean? This is just kind of an analogy, that in some way you're getting out of a relationship. If you were dealing in 2020 with a breadcrumber, somebody who's being irresponsible, you might turn the tables on them and be like, yeah, that bill that you didn't pay for me last time? Well, surprise, I'm not paying these bills. See ya, Well, you're being told to stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. Calling in your soulmate, your prayers and affirmations and visualizations help bring the two of you together. And there's something going on with my light. It keeps like popping out. I don't know if y'all can see that with the change in the lighting here. So I don't know what that is, but we're not going to get spooked out about it, okay? And I have saged this place. I saged it before I went live, so let's roll with it. But I think that some of you are definitely getting a new beginning, but I don't think you are going to be carrying on with this foolishness next year, or if you are, you're going to get away from it, okay? And you might do take some pretty radical steps to get away from this person. Some of you need to work on self-love with that Ten of Pentacles in reverse. You know, and I hate saying that because I hate hearing it, and you know, I hate that. It's so cliche. You just need to love yourself. Really? Really? Well, okay, let me say, what does that mean? You just need to love yourself. Set healthier boundaries, okay? 2021, set healthier boundaries about what you're going to accept in your life and what you're not. And I got to say, many of you last year went through Saturn in your 7th house, which put a major damper on partnerships, marriage, committed relationships, okay? So whatever survived that transit can pretty much stand the test of time. And now in this year, you've got Saturn, for many of you, moving into your 8th house, which is having to do with sex, intimacy, shared resources. By the way, I talked about this on my recent Saturn in Aquarius video that I put out here on my channel. I'll put the video link at the end of this video, so watch to the end and then you can click to that video. But like I said in that video, just to kind of summarize and go listen to more over there, but basically when Saturn is in your 8th house, if you owe people debts, it's time to pay up, okay? And there's no escaping it. And you could have challenges with shared resources. People might owe you money. And when Saturn is in the 2nd house, you've got to make it without them. And it can be really hard, all right? This is not an easy house. I don't want to scare y'all, you know, but I went through it in 2017 through about 2019, okay? And basically, it's a transit where, you know, when I went through it, well, puts a cramper on, you know, your sex life, like, phew, you know, and Saturn is a lot about, you know, sexuality, intimacy, things like that, but it also has to do with debts and taxes, okay? So, like, for example, if you owe people money because people owe you money, then unfortunately with Saturn in your 8th house, that's karmic. You got to pay your debts. You got to answer to your debts. Even if you're in debt because people are in debt to you, it's almost like they get off the hook. They don't have to answer to it. They can get away with it because Saturn's not in their 8th house, but you got to answer to it, even though it's not your fault. It was caused by other people. So, you know, there is a constructive use of that energy, and if you want to know more about it, you can watch to the very end. I'll have the video that you can click on to watch, okay? Now, on the money front with these cards, what I'm seeing, you have 7 of Swords in reverse, so you're going to have to come up with some new strategy. With the Death card, you've reached the point of no return in respect to something in your life, and it might have to do with the breakup of a marriage or a committed partnership, because you've got Lovers in reverse, okay, which might be a Gemini, might be a Scorpio that is relevant. But generally what I'm seeing here, and now there's the Justice card, so it could be a Libra, but what I'm seeing here for some of you, this is either a divorce or a separation, a legal separation. Some of you maybe a common law marriage where you never exactly filed, but there's some legalities, some entanglements where maybe you were on a mortgage together or a lease together or a car loan. There's some kind of financial entanglements that you have to extricate yourself from, but you can't just you just can't move out of the house. You know, because your name is on that, and you have to answer to it. It's like what I said earlier with the Six of Swords in reverse. There's some answering to. You can't just run out of the restaurant and not pay after you ate the meal. Okay, so what I'm seeing here for many of you, well, there might have been some lying, cheating, and thieving in the past, but this has reached a point of no return. You're going to have to think of a new way, because whatever separation has happened between you and a partnership, whether this is, you know, a marriage or a business partnership, there's some kind of legalities involved, and justice is here to bring balance and accountability and justice and fairness, okay? And some of you get really excited, and I know a lot in the tarot community, people get really excited and they'll say, oh, this means everything's going to go in your favor. Be careful with that, because sometimes what you think is in your favor or what you think is fair and just is not the way that Spirit sees it, right? I lost a job once and I kept getting the justice card, and I kept thinking, you know, based on the cards, oh, they're going to rule in my favor. They're going to rule in my favor, because this card kept coming up. They didn't rule in my favor, which was outrageous. If you knew the situation, it was like they got away with murder. And I prayed about it later, and I'm like, why did that happen? I kept getting the justice card. I thought how was this in my favor? I don't understand. And then Spirit dealt with me, and it was like, I don't want you to go back there. It is not in your favor to work for those people. They do not deserve you. See? Be careful with what you think is in your favor, okay? There's a lack of closure here with the World reverse. See, I saw it over here with the Love reading. Some of you, this Lover's card, it might be about a business partnership. For others of you, this is a relationship, a marriage where you have legal ties to this person, and there's unfinished business. We've got King of Wands at the foundation, so it could be, you know, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. But overall, this is somebody who might be a business owner, might be, you know, a boss, somebody who works in the industries of like marketing, communications, telecommunications. I'm hearing that too. And I don't know why, but I'm getting some vibe off of this person about leadership. And somebody did not complete a lesson here about being a good leader, okay? And this is karmic. Whoever you partnered yourself with was karmic. There is a lesson. She's looking at the partnership that is broken. Whatever happened in this partnership, the shadow aspects of your personality and theirs came out. And that is why this has reached a point of no return. Somebody didn't learn their lesson. Somebody has unfinished business. And it's about, I think, poor leadership versus good leadership. And you got to come up with a new strategy, because the old strategy ain't working anymore. It won't. It's with death in reverse. This has reached a point of no return. There will not be a rebirth on that situation. It's a finality. You can't go back to that old way of doing things. Okay. Please show me what is the... Okay. You got a lot there. So it is safe for you to receive. Ask for your needs to be met, and deservingness. Somebody deserves something. And, you know, it might be you. It's saying you are a beloved child of God like everyone else, and you deserve to receive the support that will allow you to focus on your divine life purpose. Even if you can't yet recognize your lovable qualities, trust that God and the angels can see how amazing you truly are. And I'm getting another message here about receiving. So the more you allow yourself to receive, the more resources you have available to share with others. Open your arms to receive and be a conduit for good coming to you and through you as it blesses the world. So I'm getting some vibe here, and I kind of got it back over there with that Six of Pentacles in yeah, there's some kind of breadcrumbing, like there's some dynamic of give and take, and it's out of balance. It's not reciprocal. So, you know, either you gave to something that didn't give back for you to you, and you need to get in a space this year where you are demanding more equity out of people, out of your relationships, more of an equitable exchange, okay? Or if you undergave, this is a year where, you know, the karma is, hey, you know, when what we give to you, it's being given so that it just flows through you to you, and you're, you know, but it flows through you. What we bless you with is for you to be a blessing to others, right? Blessed to be a blessing, as the saying goes. Because, and I'm seeing this, you know, well that's stopped up. You know, well is full of water that's full of life and spirit and emotion. But if all you do is receive this and store it up, what happens to stagnant water? Disease. Right? Exactly what I saw there. All that dark, shadowy shit that came up in partnerships. Somebody is a stopped up well. The water has become stagnant and diseased. And whoever that person is, they need to deal with this issue. In order to keep the flow in their life, they have to not only receive, but be open to allowing others to receive as well. So ask for your needs to be met. This says, God and the angels can come to your aid only if you make a free will choice to be helped. And it begins with asking. It doesn't matter how you ask God for help, but only that you do so. The same holds true with clearly asking other people to assist you. And I don't know why I'm hearing Jerry Maguire, help me help you. Remember with, what is his name? I forget his name. Okay, but that actor, he's like, help me help you. Tom Cruise and Cuba something or whatever his name is. I'm not a movie person. I'm not a Hollywood person. I don't keep up with that stuff because they don't pay my bills, right? I don't have time for that. But you get what I'm saying. Help me help you is what I'm hearing from Jerry Maguire. And you know what? Your North Node this year is going to be in the 11th house, which is very Aquarian. It's very much about friend groups, social groups. So in some way, maybe you are plugged in with people who can assist you with this, or you need to get plugged in with people who can assist you and are going to be conduits of blessing, right? Like they bless you and they're helping you to bless others, right? It's not just all, you know, stored up. But let's see what we get for the general reading and see if anything more comes out about, you know, relationships and money, and we'll see what Spirit wants to talk to you about. But I am going to ask, you know, that we find out what were the lessons from 2020 for Cancer, what are the lessons for 2021 for Cancer. And yeah, in this new year for Cancer, what will the obstacles be and the strengths? And at the foundation, please show me, Spirit, what the general theme of 2021 will be for Cancer. Wow, let me see that real quick. It was jumping. 5 of Wands, so this could be a group conflict, all right? We'll see if it comes out again, but it was jumping. All right, so the general theme of this year is 6 of Swords. So look, this is the same card, but that showed up in reverse. So are you moving on from something? Are you traveling? Are you getting forward movement in some respect? Like you've had trouble moving on, but you finally maybe do. The lesson of last year? Well, Justice card, this is about, you know, like I said, these karmic partnerships. It's about cause and effect, reaping what you have sown. And yeah, some of you maybe dealt with a legal system, dealt with issues of what is fair and what is just, and having to be accountable to something. In 2021, well, the lesson is about sacrifice and getting, you know, a new perspective, a new vision. But some of you are maybe going to have to let go of some things because things are very interesting. I'm going to have to clarify that because I want to, on one hand, I see at the foundation you are making movement here, but on the other hand, I see something is in suspense here, okay? The obstacle for this year, Five of Swords in reverse, being conflict avoidance, somebody trying to, you know, avoid disagreements, maybe in a group dynamic where there have been arguments in the past, perhaps. Competition, you know, trying to, some of you maybe cut out the competition or, you know, make sure that you don't get defeated in this situation. Others of you, there could be a reversal of power. I gotta warn you that, you know, if you in the past maybe had unfair advantage, okay? Back to this, I'm seeing the scales again, okay? That in the past, if you won at another person's expense or vice versa, they won at your expense, well, the tables could turn, okay? Where now, like it's a reversal of power. Now you're getting the upper hand or they're getting the upper hand. Whoever had the upper hand in the past, no longer, not this year. And this is karmic. This is a lesson, and I'm hearing do unto others. So what was done to you will be done to them, and vice versa, okay? Some of you feel caught in the middle. Some of you resentful about this whole thing. That's an obstacle. And what's working to your benefit with the Eight of Swords, of not getting, you know, maybe you holding yourself back, okay? Both of these cards are telling me that this year, you know, there's some holdback here, which is odd because the general theme is about you moving on and getting forward movement. I don't know that it's actually going to happen based on the surrounding cards. We're going to clarify, but I don't know that you're actually going to... If you move on this year from something, it's going to be after having held yourself back from something. Might have to do with an air sign who's lost a lot of sleep over this, or you've lost a lot of sleep over them. And yeah, that could be an attorney with that, or, you know, somebody who works in law enforcement with that King of Swords. Might be an air sign, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, but it could also be, you know, just up all night, worried or having trouble sleeping because you're trying to figure out what is the right thing to do, or somebody here is trying to figure out what the right thing to do is, okay? Let me see what this Justice card is about for last year. Please show me what the Justice card is about 2020 for Cancer. Please show me what the Justice card is for Cancer in 2020. What was their karmic lesson? And I'm getting it's the 7th house stuff, Saturn in the 7th house, with, you know, you having to deal with some karmic partners and soul lessons that were fated about who you're partnering with and why. So I'm getting a masculine energy here. Emperor in reverse might be a father figure, a boss. And in the reverse, not a fan, because this is somebody who's been trying to control everybody but themselves. And they might have a lot of options, but there's confusion. And it's odd because I see the confusion here and I see the confusion here. I don't know why that's working to your benefit, but unclear about what's viable and what's not is really, and maybe even wishful thinking that I'm going to get balance in my life by controlling everybody but myself. So there's been a need for healing and, you know, spiritual renewal is what I'm getting out of that. And maybe to open up emotionally about some things, that Ace of Cups. Some of you might have had to do with your love life, getting new love, and you might have had some prospects that you were not clear on which ones, and you might have dealt with this masculine energy that's just toxic. I'm sorry to say. Toxic partners. And yeah, something came to an end, and some of you are resisting putting it to an end, all right? But it might have been what you had to do to get healing. You had to, you know, I'm getting for some of you, there are a lot of options, and maybe even some of you, a lot of suitors, okay? And if you're saying, no, that's not me, the flip side of it, some of you maybe got resisted by a lot of people last year. With Saturn in the 7th house, it's just not a good time to start long-term relationships. I mean, I'm not saying you can't make it happen. It's just challenging, okay? So this could have been very, very painful for you. Like, especially if this has been going on for a long time with those 10 of Swords, where maybe you even aligned yourself with people who betrayed you over and over again, or it was just a string of people like this one, that one didn't work out. And I think that Spirit is trying to get you to get clear about what's viable, what's not, where is the new love going to be, what cup is going to runneth over, you know, for you. And for some of you, recognizing this really dark, shadowy energy of the Emperor, who's very demanding, very me, very like overly egocentric, self-concerned, what's in it for me, pushy type of. And even if he's not overt in that way, it's this covert type of behind the scenes manipulating, trying to control everybody but himself to get balance in his life. So there's some kind of karmic lesson with that. Please show me for 2021, what is the lesson that wanted to come out? Knight of Wands. So some of you, you know, you might have suitors coming in and out, and you're letting go of it. You're getting a new perspective on it. Others of you, you might have fleeting passions in and out, again, with prospects if you're, you know, out dating. But I don't see it, you know. Some of you dealing with I'm sorry to say, friends who either you're friends with somebody and you're wanting it to be more than that and they just want to have sex, or vice versa. You just want a friends with benefits situation and they want more than that, or be careful with this, okay? Because some of you might be having sex with somebody who you feel more is a friend, or a friend is wanting to have sex with you. Somebody's wanting a flash in the pan. Somebody else is being put on hold and not getting the commitment they want. I'm seeing... oh, this is strange. Okay, so with the King of Pentacles, it could be Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. I'm seeing this lusty energy going towards this earth sign, all right? Moving towards what's stable and secure. But this hangman energy is looking at this lusty energy, and it's like he's out the door. He's got her back to her. He's got his back to her. And it might be that, particularly if you're female Cancer, you might, if you're dealing with some kind of player energy and you're wanting a commitment out of this person this year, you might be dealing with somebody who is just about their money. And, you know, especially the older ones, I get this idea that, yeah, see, if I go back to this again, I'm getting the same kind of, okay. you know, I would say this, the older I get, I notice men are less likely to commit. And even the younger ones, these days, they avoid commitment. That's a whole nother topic, but it's almost like this person is about their own money, okay? And if this is a stable person, it might be you that's kind of, I'm sorry to say, maybe you're throwing yourself at this King of Pentacles. But I don't see a lot of stability and commitment on your end, like, or you're not getting it out of them is what I'm saying. Like, this person is about their, you might be giving them sex, you might be giving them friendship. I could say so much about that. I feel like I'm spending too long on it, but it's, you got to get a new perspective on these fly-by-night people and these lusty type of whatever, you know. If I tie it in, if this is about love and I tie it back in over here, I am getting the feeling like there's probably a male energy that is just about his coins. And, you know, particularly for the older females, I gotta say, this is, you know, that are straight, I've noticed this with men. They are risk adverse, and they tend to be, and very insecure about commitment because they view commitment as risky. They view older women, over 30, I should say, as responsibility. And this is, you know, I just got into a conversation the other night about this. Why is it that men are constantly pursuing younger females, even when they have no intention of having any children with them? Other than the obvious, right? But even these very well-maintained older women are dealing with men their age who do not want to date them. Why? Because a woman over 30 represents responsibility. So I'm getting that this is a man who's about his kingdom. And I'm seeing a woman here on hold. I'm sorry. I don't see the commitment happening from this person. And it goes right in line with what I'm seeing with the astrology, Saturn having been in your 7th and then going into your 8th. It's the astrology really kind of confirms it. So again, if it's not your story, look at your rising. I'm going to move on. What is the obstacle here? Because wow, I've already spent a lot of time on this. Please show me 5 of Swords in reverse, what this is about. Probably going to be one of my longest videos. My gosh. I hope y'all enjoy it, Cancer. Some people they don't like it long. Other people love it. But I trust the people who have made it this far here because they appreciate it. Yeah, this is the obstacle. I'm going to tell you, don't be lying, cheating, thieving this here. Don't do it. And get away from that energy, okay? Because whoever is doing this type of sneaking around and trying to be strategic and manipulate behind the scenes and covert, they're doing this because they're trying to avoid, you know, they're trying to avoid a disagreement, a fight, an argument. They're trying to avoid being confronted. And maybe, yeah, they want a brand new start. But also they might resent, and they might, because see, this is a person who, you know, in the story of the suit, okay, the sword suit, how it reaches this point of him stealing those swords is that there was 5 of Swords, right? This. And 5 of Swords, if I can find it here. Yeah, there it is. And 5 of Swords, right? We talked about this from the beginning. Somebody took swords. They took more than they needed. They took from everybody. They won at somebody else's expense, all right? So there's some kind of reversal of power. So somebody's like, well, I'm just going to steal it from you then. Since we couldn't come up, since I couldn't get my way, since I couldn't get the upper hand, Since now there's a reversal of fortune, a reversal of power, well, I'm just going to steal it from you since I can't rightfully, fairly do it, or since somebody's calling me to the table to be accountable to pay my bill, well, I'm going to duck and dodge out of there, okay? Because they want to sidestep the entanglement. This is an obstacle. Beware of this energy. What's working to your benefit this year? Well, Eight of Swords is about, you know, holding yourself back from things, okay? And let's see what that is that came up upright. You're going to get progress. It's going to be slow and steady. Some of you are going to be tired at times because you've been through a lot of trials and tribulations. But nevertheless, you're going to get through it. Some of you, you know, if you need to kind of isolate, and impose that upon yourself where you are restricting yourself so that you can focus on your coin and making progress. I think you will see the progress coming in. You're going to get promotions, you're going to get raises, you're going to see an increase in your income. It's going to be slow and steady. It's not going to happen overnight, but it's going to happen through diligence and thoroughness, and it might be, you know, as a byproduct of you pulling away from these third parties, right? From you saying, you know what, I'm going to go it alone because these group dynamics, which is 8th house, are not really benefiting me right now. I'm not getting a flow from these people. So I'm going to pull back and focus on myself. And yeah, I might get tired and weary at times and exhausted and burned out. But, you know, you're going to be making progress, and that's what's going to benefit you this year. And I gotta say, you know, just as a heads up, a lot of times when Saturn is in the 8th house, you know, 8th house is a lot about death and rebirth, so things come to an end. Like, it can be very intense, sobering energy. For me, it was like a midlife crisis, existential crisis that I was going through. And I don't want to scare y'all because for many of you, you know, you're not going to have it as hard as I had it. I had it really hard because I was going through a lot of energy in my natal chart. That's very, you know, like if you're age 41 to 44 and you're dealing with Saturn going through your 8th house, okay, then yeah, buckle up, all right? Because that's when a lot of that midlife crisis energy comes in, from ages 41 to 44. But if you're dealing with Saturn in your 8th house and you're not in that age bracket, then it won't be so hard. But I do have to warn you, it can at times feel like it's the death of you because other people are not, you know, supporting you, yet you're being called to the carpet to give account for who you partnered with and the debts that you accrued with those people that maybe they're not being held accountable for, but you are, I know. So, wow, isn't that crazy? 6 of Swords, 6 of Swords. We had 6 of Swords over here. Both of these in the upright, and that's crazy that the same card is clarifying that. So you are moving on this year. You're going to leave some troubles behind. There's probably going to be some regret, but it's going to be necessary. Some of you are traveling. Some of you are literally moving. I didn't see a lot of house stuff going on. No. But it's maybe some of you getting a new car, okay, this year. But I'm seeing where the blockage of movement is in terms of a karmic partner, of you reaching the point of no return and not going back. But you're being encouraged. Stay optimistic, right? This too shall pass. And this is the thing that I love about astrology. I know some of y'all really got down by what I told you with Saturn in your 7th, 8th, and going into your 8th house, okay? But the cool thing about that is if you use the energies to your advantage, and I tell y'all how to do that, by the way. Watch my, you know, Saturn report that I put out. If you use that energy to your benefit, then you'll come out of this stronger than you came in. And yeah, when it passes, you're going to be ripe for a really much better partnership than what you had in the past. And yeah, possibly what you could have even envisioned for yourself. So try to stay encouraged, Cancer. And if you want to know what's coming up for January, then, you know, come visit me over on Etsy. I've got the January reading over there for $3.99. And yeah, this Friday I've got some do-it-yourself astro tips coming out on this channel. Make sure you have activated the bell for notifications on that. And I think that's all I have for now. So until next time, you have a happy new year. Wishing you the best. Be blessed.